go play golf today. I mean, does he?
I think long ago he stopped caring about certain optics, and he's made very clear during this presidency he's going to do what he wants. And, it's not just playing golf. He went down to a Saudi-backed golf tournament that his family business does business with to speak at some event related to that. So, yes, all of this.
And did not go to the return of service members.
And did not go to the transfer of the dignified transfer of remains of those fallen service members. He is not messaging this in a way that suggests that he understands what average people might be going through right now. And part of what, it is.
So let's exactly unpack what's going on here. We've seen one of the biggest falls on the Dow market, on the S&P, the Standard & Poor 500 for years. And all we see is Donald Trump actually on his golf cart in Mar-a-Lago, enjoying himself, having meetings, taking some time out and recuperating, while the stock market, the economy is literally at breaking point. Is this what we want to see as a president-in-chief? Is this what we want to see, someone who's basically taken the lead as a commander? No. This is setting an absolute bad precedent, and this is the reason why we are in this situation as it is.
He is convinced he is right. He is convinced he's going to show people he is right. He has believed in tariffs for 40 years. He wanted to do this last time, and he was stymied by a bunch of advisors who were much more pro-free trade. And now he's going to do what he's going to do. He's doing it in a very different economy, post-COVID. He is doing it on a much broader scale with these tariffs. And I think most significantly, Anderson, with a formula that does not make sense to a lot of people. That, once people were looking at what this formula was, it was difficult to comprehend. It's difficult for people in the administration to.
So let's actually unpack this. When they say that the formula doesn't make sense, if we take a look at what the current situation is absolutely laughable. So Julian mentions here, note that the tariffs charged to the US are not tariffs at all. They are the US trade deficit divided by US imports from that country. So for example, trade deficit from China, 295 billion. Divided by US imports from China, 438 billion, which is 67%. Europe, 235 over 605 billion, which is 39%. Which basically is actually telling you here that this is the biggest economic blunder which Julia is actually stating. Because where is actually the economist? Who has actually put together this agreement to push forward with these tariffs? Because they're actually not tariffs. So ultimately, this has, as it's mentioned, it's wiped out trillions of dollars from the market. Nvidia is down 30-40%. Tesla is down 40% from the year to date. If we take a look at the S&P 500, we are, so let's just pull this up. Standard and Poor 500 year to date. Yesterday it closed at 5.97% down, right? We've seen consecutive days of more than 5% to the downside. This is the biggest fall since the Great Depression, right? So if we look at year to date is down 13.5% year to date. This is absolutely eroding people's pensions. The people's investments over the space of the last few weeks, few months. And all people have to say for it, especially the Republicans, is that, oh, this is a great reset. No, there's actually no one seems to be within administration who's actually making the right decisions. If we take a look at Stephen Moore here, which is basically the former senior Trump economic advisor.
Well. But we should acknowledge that people are feeling very worried right now. They're very nervous. I've lost a lot of money. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in the last week. It's been a brutal week. But I'm here to tell you things are going to get better. Trump is going to win. I would never bet against this president. And I think at the end of the day, and I hope it comes sooner rather than later, you're going to start seeing these countries make concessions.
So what we're doing is we're actually hoping for the countries to actually make concessions on the tariffs, rather than America taking the steps to actually fully understand of what's the tariffs that they implemented and what impact it's going to have on the market, right? The main premise that people really was concerned with, especially with the presidency, why they elected Donald Trump, was border security, was ensuring that egg prices are at the lowest as possible, right? But what we actually see, we're seeing the absolute contrary, and it's having a huge impact. We've got Barack Obama that actually mentioned this at the Media's Touch conference the other day.
Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me.
So you can clearly see that, from both sides, is this actually fair that's taking place, right? And it seems that there's no accountability that's occurring within administration today. Because the same things, the same decisions that are being made, which President Obama just alluded to, if that would have occurred during his administration, during the Biden administration, the whole place would have went wild, right? People in Congress would have went absolutely crazy. They would have tried to find ways, and the media would have just said this is totally scandalous. This cannot occur, right? But nobody's even talking about this. So things are starting to unravel in front of us, and we're going to see how this plays out. This is a new channel. Please make sure that if you like this information, make sure that you that you subscribe. I'm going to be coming back to you with regular content like this on a daily basis. Thank you.